There are so many ways we can think of to be grounded. Your feet planted into the earth, noticing the different areas of your body touching the earth, noticing your breath. I apply these methods to my art practice as well and into my everyday life. Of course, not all of us have this immediate access to grass or water or nature, and it can leave us feeling pretty uppity and away from ourselves.
Does it make sense to you that like C, G, A minor, F thing, we're just kind of like cutting in the A minor?
One more time?
Oftentimes, I think that the art practice can be grounding in and of itself, whether you paint or play piano or whatever. It's pretty natural for us to be immersed in the present moment, and sometimes we can really achieve flow in this way as well. And I think that so often this idea of being present is so over repeated to the point where we're like, eye roll. Okay, yeah, I know. But a couple of years ago, I took this idea of being present to my therapist. I hope she's doing well. It's been years. And I said, whenever I'm triggered or I'm having a flashback and it's like in a group of people, I say to myself, okay, be present. And then I just picture Earth in the universe. And she responded with, I bet that's going well for you. She wasn't that mean. It was just like a sarcastic thing. But I'm really happy that she read me to filth, because saying to be present and then picturing myself like floating in space, because we're floating in space and then nothing matters. Which yes, but also it wasn't really serving me. We're talking about floating. We're supposed to be grounding. Anyway, so come along with me this summer and let's explore things. Let's explore ourselves and talk about some grounding things in between. Come on, vámonos. Everybody, let's go. Come on, let's get to it. I know that we can do it. Where are we going? Clap, clap, clap. Grounding. So this month we had 3 shows lined up, which might be the most we've done, minus our local tour through town that we did in 2021. But anyway, these shows were a really great challenge for inviting myself to truly soak in and enjoy being there. I like to carve out space where I can spend time with myself consistently for at least a week before performing, so that when I get to the stage, it's almost like I've programmed myself to apply these tools when I'm on stage, if that makes sense. Then when I'm on stage, it's like feet firmly planted and grounded, noticing my breath and actively breathing into my belly and my back, and noticing how everything kind of bulges and expands, and notice how it kind of deflates. When I do this, it reminds me to just be here and to just have a nice time. This is totally a privilege, obviously, because some of us don't have a choice to not rush in the morning, and I acknowledge that. Sometimes the thing that we need the most is rest, and that is completely okay. But I will say, when I was first adjusting to having a traditional 9 to 5, I would pretty much just roll out of bed, pack my lunch, get dressed, and rush out the door while eating a very sad breakfast while running for the bus. And I convinced myself that 30 to 45 minutes was enough time to get ready and be out of the door, but it goes really quickly. And this whole rushing bit is in all of the fucking movies based in New York, where the character is holding their coffee in one hand, bagel hanging out of their mouth, newspaper in between their armpit and ribs, the other hand waving for a cap. Hashtag capitalism. But what shifted my mindset about this was actually Brendan. During this time, I had moved into his shoebox apartment, and I noticed that his mornings looked a lot different than mine. He'd get out of bed, slowly make coffee, and he somehow had enough time to play guitar. And I remember thinking, what in the Snow White is this witchcraft? Why are there birds draping your clothes.
Yes.
But then I realized I need to give myself more time. And it took me a while to make that adjustment. I read this book, say it with me. You know the book. You know what book I'm about to say. I mention it in like every video. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Exactly. And when I was doing what she calls morning pages, which is essentially a stream of consciousness, writing 3 pages, I was like, the only way I'm going to get these pages done and change my life is by waking up earlier. And with this, I was able to discover these little special moments that I created for myself. And with whatever we do, it doesn't have to be the same thing every single day, every single time. Sometimes we don't need to do any of these, and that's completely okay.
So, Brendan has this exhibit called Life in Boxes, and he is submitting it to a local zine, Ottawa Design Club, and to do that, I don't even know what's happening. Whomever needs footage of like people interacting with it, and so we're gonna set it up in our home. First we have to clean the whole damn place. We're gonna have people over, we've invited people over, and we're all just gonna get together and like play pretend and appreciate some art. So yeah, let's get ready for that.
On Sunday, we did some filming for Life in Boxes where Brendan talked about the story behind all of this. And at first he was doing it without a script or anything, but then he was struggling a bit and decided to quickly write a script for this thing while I walked Kiwi. But yeah, I said to Brendan, I said most things that I do are scripted because if it wasn't, I'd be blabbering all over the damn place, not remembering what I had just said, and no one would watch that. So, unless you would, but I don't want to. That's why I don't stream, because no. Collaboration has been great, not only for generating new ideas, but also in doing this, I find myself both making new friends and growing closer to these people as well, because we're all working towards the similar lifestyle, but we also share similar struggles as well, like getting people to be and remain interested in what you do. And it's so important to have friends who do what you do. My God, it's so easy to slip into this tunnel of thinking that like no one cares and like, am I ever going to be able to do this? Social media sucks. But then one of you might be on the other side of that, or the other person might be going through it with you, and it really shows that you're not alone. This idea of talking about whatever issue you share almost ad nauseum, honestly, because when you talk about it with other people, it's like, oh, like that sucks that you're like going through that. And that's like the extent of it. And you miss all of the little details of it. And so I find that when we have these conversations, it really brings us back down to earth, brings us back to, what is it? Yes, the grounding. Exactly. Thank you for watching until the end, for being here, for existing. You're amazing. If you watch these videos and then you tell me that you watch the videos and that you like them, like it truly makes me feel so alive. So thank you so much. I'm going to leave you with this tiny quote that my friend Morgan shared with me about people watching things that you do and commenting about it.
I don't know how else to explain it, but it makes you feel like you're alive. Like it's like you don't know you're real, and then you make something and someone recognizes it, and it's like, oh, I exist. I've had an impact on my surroundings, and it was seen and noticed, which is also like a more kind of drawn out, permanent feeling of when you kind of make people laugh, or they go, oh, that's so cool, I didn't know that. You're like, oh my God, I'm coming. Like, it's the best. Sorry, I made myself laugh.
Hashtag subscribe, hashtag like this video, hashtag comment down below, hashtag subscribe to our Patreon if you have the means to do so. I understand this economy, but we need help.